Linda Barker, where are you? Linda had a great idea. Plan a joint library, computer and classroom study of safe water around the world with their 6th graders. I think it's an excellent idea. Congratulations! Give a round of applause for Miss Linda. You have to take a friend to lunch with you. We would go ahead and have our lights brought down for our final session. In the second session, we were challenged to start to teach globally, and I appreciate so much the ideas that Dr. Hopper shared with us, ways to do that. I encourage all of you to think even beyond those ideas, other things that transcend culture that we can use to help our students learn and appreciate the global nature of the world we live in. Let's again make him welcome for our final keynote session about dreaming globally, Prep Beyond Prep.
Mention that the last slide that we'll put up has the web address of where the notes and the references from this presentation are located. But also, Noah, can you wave your arm over there, right there? And Janice Ragsdale, raise your hand. And we all have business cards for our programs, and it has that web address on it. And if you want one, just see any of us when we break for lunch, and we'll hang around a few minutes and be happy to give you a card if we have any left, or you can just write. It's really pretty simple. And by the way, my email address, if there's anything you want to reprimand me for or talk to me about, is real easy. It's hopper@harding.edu. No initials, just HOPPER@harding.edu. One of the first things I'd like to think about is just the idea of dreaming itself. Let's take off the word globally and say, are we dreaming? What is a dream? Well, we have things like the Pharaoh's dream when he saw the 7 wheat stalks, and it represented 7 years of feast, and then there were 7 years of famine. I believe very much that dreams come out of us. They come out of our experience, they come out of who we are, and I think we have control of our dreams. If we think and want something and wish it, be careful because you're likely to get it. This is something that I've told students for decades now. One of the most interesting studies that has ever happened, I think, was done with the 1968 gold medal winners from the Mexico Olympics. And that Olympics is very special to me because in my high school, now John mentioned I grew up in California, I did. I went to Rio Americana High School in Sacramento. And there were 7 Olympic medals in my high school. And one person won 5 of them, a swimmer named Debbie Myers. And John Ferris won the others, and we had swimming class in PE. We called it PE then. And we had an Olympic-sized pool at my high school, and John had already swum 3 or 4 hours by the time we got to school. But we had to swim for a grade, and can you imagine little me standing on the start platform, and the world record holder in the 100-yard freestyle next to me racing for a grade, and the coach said, "Ready," and blew his whistle. And John was turning around, coming back as I hit the water. The interesting thing about those Olympics, and that's famous for a lot of reasons, that's where the American 4x relay team won, and they were crying out for civil justice, and they held up their fists on the platform with their gold medals, and they were saying, yes, we may be the best in the world, but we want to be treated equally at home. That was their dream. But they interviewed all of the competitors, psychologists, did a study, and they found that there was only one thing in common among the gold medal winners. And we're here in a city where people try to make it in a lot of different things. Your students competing in athletics. There's a horde of people in the city who want to make it in music, the recording industry. We've sent dozens from our university to the city who want to do that. We send them to other places who have other dreams. There was only one thing in common that all of the gold medal winners had. And the others didn't have it. It was almost a one-to-one correspondence with gold medal winners. And the gold medal winners all had envisioned and dreamed and thought consciously for years about winning, about being the best in the world at an event. And it drove them. So I want to encourage you, first of all, to dream and make a conscious decision about what a dream is. I love Disney's line, and I have to tell you, I've kind of left the Disney Corporation after it's not because of her, but about the Britney Spears era. I sort of lost my love of Disney, but they had a representative in their early years. I actually also lived in Anaheim for a while, so I was close to Walt geographically for a time. And my first crush ever on a celebrity was on Annette Funicello. Now, everybody that laughed must be over 50. But Annette Funicello was one of the original Mouseketeers. And I thought about her in my sleep, and I dreamed about her because I thought she was so beautiful. And later I found out she wasn't perfect. Oh. Okay, enough about me. You have to dream. And dream, don't limit yourself. Because if you do, you'll limit yourself. Think about what you can do. Is it crazy to think about taking children to another place? Probably. But if their parents went, maybe you could do that. Are there pockets of culture in this city or in this state that you could visit that represent other cultures? What can you do to open yourself up to global culture? I would like you to look at a video that we made about one of the programs that our university sponsors. It's called HULA, that's Harding University Latin America. And in this, you can see 4 of our students. They were protected and guarded. It was always safe at all times. There was somebody else with them that you don't see, in addition to the cameraman. But you can see our students acting out some of the things that I've suggested that you should do. Look for greetings. Look for language. Look for slow food. Look for slow learning. Look for cultural interaction. Look for cultural proximity. Look for hospitality. Look for family structure. It's all there in 3 minutes. Janice, can we see that?
muchas veces que el Señor las bendiga, las guarde y las cuide, porque a mí me dieron, también me dejaron una enseñanza a ustedes ahí.
Ezell-Harding Universidad en Arkansas.
Oye, entonces el viernes a las 3.
Sí.
La canción se llama 5
Sí.
Es que decir a la mamá por el día.
Esta te contaron hoy día. Hoy.
Chiquillo, porque me a tomar.
Esta es hace poco, ella.
Yes, chévere porque puede visitar otros países y hay lo mismo también que todos creen en Dios y tienen algo que
Okay. I want to conclude with something that doesn't have a picture to it. John mentioned that I do have a music background, and that's true. And I believe in the power of music. It goes all the way back, at least, to David soothing Saul with his lyre and his songs. But it also goes back to the Greek culture and Greek mythology, where Orpheus was able to reclaim his wife Eurydice from Hades and cross the river Styx by the power of music. I want to play for you something where you have to use your imagination. This is a recording that was made in Ghana, West Africa. And in Ghana, West Africa, there's a post office, and they do now, but they didn't used to have stamp canceling machines. They had to do it by hand. And so the thousands of pieces of mail that would come through, they would have to take the piece and lay it down and stamp it, and then hit the ink pen and stamp it again. And these joyful people turned this into a work song, singing, whistling, and they used the machinery of the hand stamp to be the percussion band. And I want you just to picture the joy of these guys. They were men, that's why I say guys. They're working, canceling stamps in a place some 6,800 miles from here. And I want to leave that image with you because that's a dream. You can't see it. But I want you to imagine maybe a work song in your classroom, maybe another culture, maybe playing this recording for them. I don't know what it is. I don't know your situation. But use your mind and see what music can do for you here. And we'll be done after that. John, wait, I have one more thing, sir. I'm so sorry. It'll take 1 minute. I was so concerned about being through in 15 minutes. I think we still will be. There's a book that many of you may know. And do you know this book, There Are Those? Okay, this whole book is a children's book, and you're going to see the pictures from it. And I would like to read it to you. It's very short, but it's about going beyond, John, and that's why we've got to do this. I'll read it now. There are those, and they're not few, who see a sky and just see blue. There are those in strong their might who look at stars and just see light. They will hear Brahms' symphony, and all they'll hear is melody. They look at me and even you, yet all they see is a face or two. But there are those, and they are few, who see much more than others do. They see beyond the blue sky, beyond just lights, for stars will die. They hear much more than melody. They hear the heart of a symphony. And they can see beyond my face into a more secluded place. And because their cups hold a larger store, when they drink far more. I urge you to teach those children.
We're going to go ahead and transition our stage for the next session. This will be our shortest section, but we do want you to be involved. I would like to ask Jan Bennett from Columbia Academy, Jackie Pitt from Friendship, Stephanie Harper from Nashville Christian, Rita Cochran from Lipscomb Academy, and Daniel Knox from Good Pasture to join us on the stage. We're going to do a little fireside chat, and I would like to invite Dr. Hopper, if you'd be willing to come and join us for this as well. We're going to do a short panel discussion, and I have 4 questions that these faculty administrators are aware of that are going to give their perspective on from their school. So if you guys want to come on up and join us on stage, we will get started. And I'm going to position myself here in the front row so not to distract from what you are doing up there. Great. Now we'll get them a microphone for them to share. Jeff, can we go hot on the wire? Let's give a round of applause to Jeff Wink, who's helped us so much with our local meeting today. He's done an excellent job. Appreciate him very much. I want to open the questioning with something very basic that you can all chime in on, though you don't feel like you need to do that. In what ways is your school already thinking, teaching, or dreaming globally? And if you just want to throw your hand up, we can pass the microphone around for that.
Well, I will go ahead and just start. I'm from Lipscomb Academy, and there has been a big push to get outside the walls of our classroom. Our administrators will say Lipscomb Academy is our campus, but the world is our classroom. And so we have a number of teachers who have e-pals, and we're constantly connecting with them. The 7th grade is connected globally with Australia. We've actually been able to travel and exchange teachers. We've done a lot of service projects. We've built through service learning, and it is learning. It's a lot of statistic building, graphing, journaling, and essay writing that goes along with service learning. But we've been able to construct a school in Bangladesh, and we've been able to build water wells around the world. So I think, there's always more to do, but that's how we've started.
I will add one thing real quick. We, at Harding, we have about 48% of our graduates who participate in the study abroad program. Nearly half of them. And we also have mission outreaches, missionary internships, Those can occur even over a 10-day spring break. The emphasis permeates the campus. We have students from about 50 countries on campus, and they all have societies and cultural events, and we attend those.
I'm Jackie Pitt, and I'm from Friendship Christian in Lebanon. We are very fortunate for a number of reasons at our school, but we have an amazing biology teacher. And I know if Greg is here, he's trying to slither out the door because he doesn't like recognition. But Mr. Armstrong, I've taught a long time, the gray hair is pretty evident of that. He is one of the most amazing teachers with whom I have ever taught. And he has introduced our students to a program called Run for Water. And our cross-country team, our students run raising money for water programs, clean water around the world. He has taken and does each year, takes our students once or twice a year to Honduras. They have built wells. Last year, I watched them construct a seesaw that they could take to Honduras, where the children can sit on that seesaw to help make that well work. So it involves the community. So I've seen Mr. Armstrong and his staff of teachers do amazing things with our students and taking them to areas and teaching people hands-on. And the other day I was standing in the hallway and 2 or 3 of the senior girls, one who has a tendency to be very excitable, comes in, oh, Miss P! She was so excited because the bracelets that they had taught the women to make were now making money for the women so that they could be able to help support their families. But in addition to that, we started a program, I'm doing the math in my head, I think 6 years ago, where we take students abroad every summer. We have a company we work with, and we go to 2 different countries every summer. This one is not so much mission-oriented as it is culturally oriented. And we go to 2 different countries a year. And probably the greatest thing I've learned, my husband and I did that for 5 years, and now as we have entered our Medicare years, that has been turned over to someone quite younger than we are. But one of the things that I've appreciated in every country that we were in, at some point as we traveled, there would be someone in our group, for example in Greece, our tour guide was a Christian. And he stood in front of our group and he showed us where Paul preached while he was in Athens. So every experience that we have given our students the opportunity to have, I'm so thankful for the travel opportunities that they've had, which has allowed those who are social studies teachers to come back to our school and teach from a much greater, I think, global perspective.
John Bennett from Columbia Academy, also known as Jan Bennett, although we're only here apparently.
My mistake.
That's not a problem. I blame our president. A couple of things similar to what other schools have done. We do take a mission trip each year. About 1/4 of our high school students give up a week of their spring break to go on a mission trip. Currently, we have a running program with the City of Children in Ensenada, Mexico, and I know a lot of other schools participate in that as well. Depending on our number of students, if we have more students that want to participate in missions and are able to go on that trip, we have added secondary trips to some of the Latin American countries as well. A part of our 2020 vision for our school is to increase that number of active missions. So we're looking to do more than we've currently been doing. If you've participated in any kind of SACS or advanced ed accreditation, I kind of think of us as emerging when it comes to teaching globally. I can give you specific examples. Our teacher tweeted about his mask project and kids doing research looking up about various cultures that use masks. But I think there's so much more that can be done than what we're currently doing.
Let's shift gears a little bit for some of our other panelists. What is one idea or thought that came from today's in-service that you would like to see implemented in your school? If you want to answer the first one quickly, but I'm trying to save this time.
I'll go ahead and answer the second one, I guess. One thing that kept resonating with me that you mentioned a few times we talked about was the slowing down, and I kept thinking about that while you kept talking about other things, I guess. But the idea of slowing down and savoring the time that we do have, and trying to learn more and to do more, instead of trying to just get through and do, and feel like we have to live like everybody else in the world and move fast and just slowing down. That was the one of the biggest things that I was able to draw from today.
Well, I'm disappointed that I didn't get a chance to toot the National Christian horn a little bit more about what we're involved in with global initiatives, but I was excited to see that that was the theme of this in-service, because it seems that theme has become prevalent in everything that we're doing at school. And I think of the H2O for Life program that we were a part of, and we raised money for a well last year, and we had a day where we celebrated African culture. But to close that session out, our little middle school chorus got up and sang an old Eagles song about there's a hole in the world today, don't let there be a hole tomorrow. And that kind of goes along with our mission to demonstrate Christ's love. And we've been doing so many things as a school to do that. One of the things that stuck with me here today, though, from the tweets, somebody said there is so much global diversity right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we really don't have to take our students abroad to tap into that. And a colleague and I went this summer to, if you're familiar with the Paperclips documentary, and there's a Paperclip curriculum that's all about service learning. We went to that this summer, and the whole point is that one person can make a difference. And so we brought that curriculum back to our students, and we've talked to them about how one person can make a difference, and we've asked them to identify what in our community can we not solve. We can't make poverty go away, we can't make homelessness go away, but what can we do to help? And one of the things that's come up is that there's an international school, probably 30 seconds down the road from us, that has an entirely Muslim student body. Why have we not connected with them? Why are we not sharing our faith with them and allowing them to share with us to break down some of the barriers? And so that's something that we've become excited about discussing with our students. And I guess I'll stop talking now, let somebody else take the mic.
We'll take one more. Jeff, you can't speak on this one. You can't learn from your own keynote session.
I think one of the things I was thinking about while he was talking was, I too believe in the power of one, but then I looked around at the number of schools here. If we believe in the power of one, why not the power of many also? And I think the thought came to me, what if all of our schools would really work together? If we could connect, and I guess that goes along with another one of the questions you're going to ask about next year. I would love to see it called, maybe our group meeting, Connect. And maybe we could connect and work together, because if the power of one is great, I just think the power of many would be indescribable. God can do great things with one, why not many?
Let's go ahead and fast forward to that question. We will skip number 3 for the sake of time. I think this will be a very helpful question for the school that plans in-service next year. We'll all have an opportunity to do this again next year for in-service. What is one additional idea, and the power of one and connecting is great, what is an additional idea for a theme or topic that you would like to see addressed next year? And we'll take a spectrum of answers. We'll let all of you chime in.
Well, we heard whenever several of the heads of school were talking about initiatives and things like that they were proud of. A lot of the schools are doing a lot more with technology, and I know staff development when it comes to the use of technology in the classroom is always a big issue. So I think at least some component that's directed towards individual grade levels or individual school levels, how to use the various technologies that you have, not centric to any one technology, to really do a better job in the classroom, because we know the kids are great with them as soon as they turn them on. Those of us that are a little bit older tend to struggle a little bit. So working on integrating that better into the classroom sounds like something that a lot of us could use because of where our schools currently are.
I know that a moment ago someone mentioned someone who was an expert at quiz ball and felt that he was known everywhere for this. I think that each of our schools probably has a couple of or more programs that maybe the others don't have. And I think I would love the opportunity to find, or for us to look at who are the experts in our schools that could teach the rest of us, and maybe what you're working on, what you learn, someone who does quiz experts in their schools on something and teach the rest of us how to do something that might make a difference in our schools that has made a difference in others.
One thing that I'm really interested in right now is hearing from colleges. I recently did a research presentation where I contacted some professors that I knew and said, okay, when they get to you as writers, and I'm an English teacher, so sorry about this, but when they get to you as writers and as readers and as thinkers, what are our students lacking? And their responses were very interesting. For example, one professor responded to me, they are too well schooled in the 5-paragraph essay. And so it was just so interesting to hear from the other side. And we are preparing our students globally, but we're still also preparing them for college. And I want to know, are we doing a good job of it, and what do we need to be doing? And so I'm hoping we can, I think National Christian may get to host next year. And so maybe we can look into that a little further.
I guess just to expound on what they said, I think the technology, Good Pastor's moving in a big direction with technology here soon, and so that's one thing that I think we can all learn from, because it's constantly changing, and there are new things every single day that we don't know how to do, but somebody out there knows how to do that can share with us, and I think that's the other big thing that was already mentioned, of just learning from the other teachers. There's a lot of knowledge in this room, and all the brains out there, and just being able to have a format where we can share those ideas with each other and to learn from each other is a great thing to do.
Jeff, would you like to make an addition? Okay, let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you guys so much for participating. If you guys would like to be seated, you can do that. Well, as we close for the day, a couple of things that I want to do. We hope that you've enjoyed Prep Beyond. More than that, we hope that you've gained some things. We hope that you have some real practical tools to take back with you, that you have some ideas, or maybe just a passion, or maybe a really unsettled feeling in your stomach about, man, maybe I can do more. Maybe we could do more. Look deeply into those things. Pray about those things. Ask God, hey, what am I trying to learn here? What are you trying to do inside of me? And explore those things. I'm so thankful that we get to celebrate each other's victories. I'm so thankful we can come together in a room like this and worship. I'm so thankful to Dr. Jeff Hopper for coming and spending the day with us. Let's give him one more round of applause. I want to thank our nonprofit organizations for coming today and being present during this. I hope you had a chance to meet with them. I want to express thanks to Angelo's Picnic Pizza, an Italian restaurant, and also Homestyle Bakery. They provided breakfast for us this morning. Please reward them and O'Charlie's and Logan's in kind by going to eat at lunch with them. And we've had slides letting you know where those are. Please go and eat your lunch there. Take a group with you. Let some of these ideas we've discussed today continue the conversation during lunch. I hope that you will show them your appreciation. We're going to close now with our President, Beecher Frazier, with a couple of thoughts, and then he will dismiss us.
Jason Charlton, if you and Jeannie could come here, and Amanda Carden, please, and John Sullivan. Jake Williams is the president of our student body. He's going to lead us in a closing prayer for here in just a minute. One quick thing I wanted to say in closing. One, thank you all for being here today. I hope it's been beneficial to you. You know, it's easy to get complacent, especially those of us that have been raised in the church for years. Too many times we have more faith in our tradition than we have faith in our family. I encourage each of you to put your faith to go beyond with your children each and every day, whether it's a 3-year-old or whether it's a 12th grader, in all that we do. John Sullivan and his wife Brittany are expecting their first child coming up this next year. We're proud of that. Thank you for the job you've done. Thank you. Jason Charlton has spent a lot of time with this. Jason and Jenny have 3 kids here. They're both alumni of Ezell as well. Both Lydia, Rachel, and Emma are here, so we're proud of them. I know there's other guidance counselors and folks out there, English teachers, as the lady was just talking about, but I didn't mention Amanda first earlier today for a reason. She's had to keep these guys together and make sure this program come off without a hitch. And I just wanted to publicly tell you you're wonderful and thank you for the job you've done. Thank you all for being here today.
On behalf of all Dear Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you've given us, and I'm just so thankful for all these people who have come out here today to get prep beyond anything that we can have for ourselves. So I just want to thank the speaker and thank everybody for being here today, and hope we initiate these things that we've learned today in our classrooms. And it's in your son's name we pray. Amen.
We're dismissed.